She attended she went over to the Salvation Army. And I'm not sure what she did there. She was not accompanying her daughter's moving, so she's probably in the process. Right.
Yeah.
So how was your visit at the Trinity House?
And I did that, just full disclosure, I did that back in July, I think.
Oh, okay.
I did that a while ago, but I gathered this information, and I was really impressed. It's a large operation, which the relevant part of that to us is that they have a lot of different ways we can plug in, potentially. They are, at the core, a residential treatment facility for homeless men who are addicted, who are substance abuse addicts. They have NA programs as well internally that they do. And they provide meals for the men. They try to assist them in getting work. They try to teach them life skills. They have they have different programs to help them with their finances, to keep budget, things like that, to really not just make them fully functioning individuals, but actually high functioning individuals when they leave the program. I think that's really the intent. They have it, I guess basically 3 different statuses an individual can have when they're in the program. I don't know the actual terminology. They have because they use a lot of I think that they use a lot of, African-based language to define, to label the different levels that people are at. It's really cool. It's really cool.
Running example.
Oh gosh, I wish I could remember. But like I know like they have like the different levels. You have a different status, and the status is basically, if I remember correctly, is basically like. I don't remember any of the terms, any of the labels they have, but they're very much promoting African culture within the experience, which was cool. So, like you might have like, if you were in scouting or in the military, they just have certain levels, that you're at.
So, 100% of the men are African Americans?
The ones that I saw. I don't think it's exclusive that way, but the day that I visited, those are only ones that I saw.
So where are they located? I've heard of it.
Yeah, you know where Bethel AME is?
Okay.
Okay, right at Caddy Corner across from there. There used to be a mortuary, a funeral home there. And this is actually in collaboration, I think, with the Trinity Church down off of Trinity Avenue.
I was going to say, is it connected with that? Okay.
Though Bethel owns that building, and Bethel rents it to Trinity House for $1 a year.
Oh, wow.
I remember you saying that a lot.
Yeah.
Because I know Trinity does, they still do the
they
feeding.
They'll do that. So basically at this facility, and Barbara Hester is the contact person there, and she gave us a tour. Or she was there. She facilitated the tour. She actually gave one of the residents to actually walk us around and show us the living quarters and everything. And they have 3 different opportunities to serve, which I think are relevant to us. And they have the Trinity table, they have the to-go bags, and they have the team lunches and dinner. The Trinity table is basically every Sunday they have dinner for the homeless population in the area, not just the residents. Okay, so the residents is one group, that's a smaller group, and I think they're probably about 20 to 30 residents at any given time. There's a waiting list to get into that program, but that's a whole nother conversation. It's unfortunate people have to wait to get treatment when they want treatment. But that's a societal issue. But anyway, so they have they have these dinners, and they have people, when the homeless come in, they sit down at the table, and they provide table service at no charge. And what they optimally want to see happen is for organizations to come in, like to say if Impact were to take a Sunday, they would put it on the calendar. If our Sunday was the first Sunday in March. You know, and I think organizations typically commit to a certain number of summers. They have a whole calendar, like we might do the first Sunday in March every year.
Okay.
Or something like that, you know, like they have organizations that come regularly and
They have a designated Sunday.
and they take over for that Sunday.
Okay.
And however, if your ministry is not, or your organization is not large enough to take on the 30 to 40 individuals you need to provide for that, and there's some cost because they have different menus that they like you to do. In the summertime, they like you to provide soup, you know, because the men like to have something warm to eat when they go out and stuff. But anyway, but if you have a large enough organization, you basically take over that Sunday. So your church goes in, you prepare the food, you have servers, you do the cleanup, you do everything, and they've got a list in the documentation they gave me that tells you how you need to break down your person power, like how many people you need to assign to doing dishes, how many people you need to assign to doing cleanup. So this is so I'll pass this around, but they have it broken out like that. Like when you do come on site, it tells you like, you know, how many people you need to do each one of these tasks, and how many people you need to have serving. Okay, and that's one thing you take over for the entire Sunday. The other alternative is to partner with another church, you know, that also cannot necessarily fulfill all the manpower, woman power requirements to take over a Sunday. So there might be 2 churches, and I would imagine maybe 3 churches, whatever, that you come in and you work with them, and you just provide the individuals and whatnot. Which that's kind of the they call it co-hosting Trinity table. And in those environment, in that scenario, you should provide no more than 15 people. Okay, because you need 30 to 40 to run the whole thing yourself. But if you're partnering, provide no more than 15 people. So they do have that requirement. Partly because I think when they try to merge groups together, they still try to keep those groups together. And they have 2 dining rooms. They can't have any more than 15 volunteers per dining room.
So how many do they normally feed, you said? Sunday?
Yeah, I want to say it's like 500. It's in there.
But if it's one church like us, we could have 30 or 40 people. We
Yeah.
probably wouldn't need to
Yeah.
partner.
Yeah.
Unless we just wanted to, but it wouldn't be out of need.
So do we prepare the meals there, or you bring it with you?
You bring it and you heat it up there.
Oh, okay.
Meal option based on 300 guests. So you're preparing food for 300.
Okay.
And here they tell you what to bring, and they tell you what time you need to be there. But everything should be pretty much cooked. And I'll pass this down to you in just a second. You can kind of see here. And they have the breakout here on page 5 where they tell you how many people need to serve each roll. And you can see here the menu. That they have a summer menu and a winter menu, essentially, you know. So,
We would have to be in our facility to do that.
well, see, that's the thing. That I'm saying the multiple ways you can be constrained.
Right. Because are we actually doing a kitchen when we first move in?
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you would have to, if we didn't, we would have to partner with another church.
Yeah.
Yeah, because to prepare this,
We would
Yeah.
need a church.
yeah, you would need a facilitator.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, the to-go bag lunches, is that?
Yeah, that's
something
another
totally-
opportunity. That's
is
another opportunity too.
Okay.
Now, if you take over an entire Sunday, then you know you should provide the to-go bag lunches. But to what I understand it, you could, as your co-hosting, you know, participation, make to-go lunches. Basically, just provide that.
Or instead of doing the actual, so you have an option? Oh,
Yeah, that was my understanding.
okay.
You have an option just to do that, just prepare to-go lunches. I think there's a page on that too that talks about what that needs to be, what needs to be in them. Because they want to feed the guys, plus give them something to take with them. So they have the table service, sit-down meals, and then they have the to-go bags, which go out with the men when they leave. Now, I will say this, I believe, I'll have to verify this, I'm pretty sure, even though it's a male residential program, when they do the table service, the Trinity House, what is it called, Trinity table, what it's called. when they do that, I think that's open to all homeless men and women.
Okay.
It's just not, so that's that, and then they have the team lunches, and what that is not on Sundays, but the other days of the week for the residents in the program. They have a kitchen there, and the Trinity House provides dinner. Okay, so you can, as an organization, come in and just basically take over, like, to feed the men that live there. Okay, on a day or whatever, come in and provide, and sometimes organizations, and what she told me that they'll have organizations come in and they'll do the team dinner for the men that are staying there, but they'll come in and they may provide like a musical, experience, like that, just do kind of or a spoken word experience, do some spoken word with the men, like that, just an enriched experience. So not just necessarily feeding it, but also just bringing some of our church with us, essentially. And that they say no more than 12 per dining room.
Now this is during the week.
This is during the week. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So they have a limit on how many volunteers can participate in that. So they have 2 dining rooms that they serve the men that live there. So that's another opportunity. So basically, they have 3 different ways you can, well, it's really kind of 3.5, because the Trinity table, either you own the Sunday or you partner with somebody, and that's really like, the Trinity table is the opportunity, but how you engage there, if you can't do the whole thing, then you can partner with another church or entity to do it. You can do the to-go lunches, as well, as a way to kind of not have to take on a full Sunday. Or you can simply do one of the days of the week with the residents and come in and participate in that at that level.
How many residents did you mention?
I think it's in there somewhere. I want to say it's like 30.
Oh, okay.
It's not a huge, I'll have to find it. And I should know that off the top of my head.
What do you know the average stay for? I guess it varies a bit.
Yeah, they told us some of them have been in there. They're 20 residents, I'm sorry. So they say bring enough food for the 20 residents plus any volunteers, but they're expecting that the volunteers may want to eat as well.
But this is just during the week.
During the week,
But
yeah.
on Sunday you say it's around 300. That
Yes.
they want to eat.
Yeah. That's a whole different, yeah. Imagine the 20 I think we could do. The 300 that we don't have without a kitchen.
Yeah.
That would be
Unless you
hard.
go to go bags.
Yeah.
So we could probably do
Yeah. I was thinking even then though, a space where we would,
that. Meet or something.
to pack, I guess,
Yeah.
even though there's a lot of work, we would probably still have to minimize volunteers, because if it's a regular sized kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
with the amount of stuff that you would need to pack that many sandwiches,
Yeah.
there's not gonna be room for more than like 3 people.
Well, most churches, the kitchens are right out near or out in front of the fellowship
Fellowship hall,
areas. So
yeah.
you have chairs and tables
Tables,
there.
you
So
match-
normally
yeah.
you just, just
And lay out all the bread
lay out
and
everything.
just drop
You
meat
have-
on it and
You have a system.
yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I was just thinking if they have to, I was thinking with the whole with the rules brain of
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
is there a requirement for it to be, housed in an area that is sanitary and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
that
They
kind
don't
of
have.
stuff.
They probably don't have.
Mhm.
I
They
mean,
probably don't. Not for
Yeah.
people bringing
Not
lunches.
for
Or
people
maybe they
bringing
should,
lunches.
but
Right.
And I'm sure,
Okay.
like for the senior connection, they probably have rules there because they have this huge kitchen, so
Yeah.
they probably are governed by many of the state, health
Yeah,
guidelines
health
and things like
requirements,
that,
yeah.
because they're sending out food
Right.
from that facility. So I'm
Mhm.
sure they have strict
Mhm.
guidelines.
Mhm.
And they do offer meals, as a little footnote to what I was saying, for people who are diabetic. In other words, they have, if you have to have a special type of meal,
Sure.
for people who are diabetic or have allergies.